If the picture of Truman with Henry Luce amid the ruins of ancient Rome had seemed the unlikeliest of holiday vignettes, Truman succeeded in topping it at Florence, when he, Bess, and the Woodwards were the luncheon guests of Bernard Berenson at Berenson's famous villa, Itati, overlooking the city. It was a luminous setting of incomparable paintings, sculpture, a library of 55,000 volumes, and the place where the legendary Berenson, B.B., widely regarded as the consummate connoisseur, the world's last great aesthete, held court. A Lithuanian Jew by birth, a graduate of Harvard, and a leading authority on Italian Renaissance art, he had made Itati his home, shrine, institution, since before World War I, when Truman was still on the farm. A tiny, frail, but godlike figure with a white beard, now nearly 91, Berenson was still immensely vital and talkative. His flow of guests, of celebrated literary and theatrical figures, was unending. J.B. Priestley, Robert Lowell, Alberto Moravia, Laurence Olivier, Mary McCarthy. They came to listen, since customarily B.B. did most of the talking, and of course to be able to say they knew the great man. "We just had to look him up. He was the best in his line," Truman would later tell Merle Miller. In his diary at the time, Truman said he found Berenson as clear-headed and mentally alert as a man of 35 or 40. He is considered the greatest authority on Renaissance art and is noted for his epigrams, one of which struck me forcibly. We were discussing world affairs, and he remarked that modern diplomacy had degenerated into open insults openly arrived at. We discussed the causes of the First World War, the Austrian Prime Minister at that time, the Serbian situation, and the whys and wherefores of the Austrian ultimatum which started the war. Truman was greatly stimulated by Berenson's company and delight in conversation, much as he had been years ago at the Sunday afternoon teas with Louis Brandeis. In a letter to Berenson later, recalling the pleasant visit, Truman wrote in a postscript, "I wish the powers that be would listen, think, and mock at things as you have." But more remarkable was Berenson's reaction to the former American president, which Berenson recorded in his own diary at the time. "Harry Truman and his wife lunched yesterday, came at 1 and stayed till 3. Both as natural, as unspoiled by high office, as if he had got no further than alderman of Independence, Missouri. In my long life I have never met an individual with whom I felt so instantly at home. He talked as if he had always known me, openly, easily, with no reserve, so far as I could judge. Ready to touch on any subject, no matter how personal. I always felt what a solid and sensible basis there is in the British stock of the USA if it can produce a man like Truman. Now I feel more assured about America than in a long time. If the Truman miracle can still occur, we need not fear even the Senator Joe McCarthy's. Truman captivated even Willie Mostyn Owen, age 27, ultra-critical, and like all Englishmen of today, hard of hearing anything good about Americans, and disposed to be condescending to them at best. At Salzburg, in Truman's honor, the organist of Salzburg Cathedral played Mozart's Ninth Sonata on the 250-year-old organ, and at Mozart's birthplace, Truman himself played a Mozart sonata on Mozart's own clavichord. I found that it was somewhat different from the modern piano, but it makes beautiful music. This Mozart town has certainly been a joy to me.